They're saying right now it could be one of the coldest games in NFL history. Could be the coldest game in NFL history. Slated to be 0 degrees with the wind chill I've seen on average about a negative 21 degrees Saturday night. I dove a bit more into the numbers because everyone's talking about the weather and stuff. So since 2017, the Dolphins have lost the last 9 games they've played in under 40-degree weather. Not only is this Tua's first NFL playoff game, but Tua has played in 4 games where the temperature was sub 45 degrees. And his record in those 4 games, 0-4, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in those games. In contrast, the Chiefs have lost just once in their past 10 home games in which the temperature was 40 degrees or colder, and that includes a 4-0 mark in the playoffs. So, JD, everyone's talking about these cold games. You played in cold games at Arrowhead, plenty of them. We've talked about this ad nauseum on the show before. But how much of an advantage is the weather for the Chiefs, or is this whole thing being overblown by the people in the media and myself with these nuggets I'm bringing up here?
No, it's not overblown at all. We know for a fact that if you're more geared to play in this type of weather, it's going to look, first off, it's going to be cold for everybody. You know, even if this is supposed to be the coldest game in the history of the NFL, then it's going to be cold for everyone. The Chiefs may be a little bit more adapted to this cold weather because they've been out here, they've been practicing, they're practicing inside, they're still getting a lot of that cold. They can feel. They're kind of walking around in it every single day. So physiologically, you are better geared to deal with this type of weather than somebody who's been on South Beach feeling 70-degree weather, you know, just basking in the sun every single day, right? So I don't even know what the weather is down South Beach, but I know it's a lot warmer than it is Kansas City. Okay, so it could be 80-something. We know for a fact that it's going to be, a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for the Dolphins come up here to try to make a win in this type of environment. The thing is, what you do is you negate some of the big passing plays, okay? Trying to get the ball out of your hand, trying to catch the football. We're talking about trying to make tackles. Is another one that's really hard to do. It's really tough. We're talking about stinging your hands. I mean, I'm talking about, man, it's to the point where you're so cold that you can't almost wrap your head around it. And if you're not in the game, then you're going to become a popsicle. This is what's going to happen on the sideline. So thank God they got the heaters and the hand warmers and all those different things to help guys out because they're going to need it. They're going to need it on a cold, wintry night in Kansas City, in Arrowhead. And so the Dolphins are going to try to find some type of warmth somehow, some way. Tyreek's played in cold weather. He knows what it's like. Waddle, not so much. Tua, not so much. Being out in Alabama, he hadn't really. And you said it. You said he's already lost. He's 0-4. You know, during these cold, wintry games. So it's gonna do a number trying to throw the football. So what do? You try to promote your ground game. That's what you have to do. You got to lean on your ground game a whole lot. And so with us, we know we got Isaiah Pacheco, CEH, running the football. We're gonna be, doing a good job with those guys up front, just pushing on the pile. And so I think our offensive line is geared for it, running down people's throats. We should do more of that. We've been trying to politic to get more of that happening this season. So that's what it is, Marcus. It's going to be a hard time for guys to make tackles. It's going to be a hard time to catch footballs that's coming to you like a rock. And it's just going to, man, I'm telling you, it's one of those things that if you never played in the game, okay, and we're talking 3 hours here, all right, and you feel like you can't feel your fingers and your toes and your feet. And I'm sure people out there have felt that before. But imagine just being out there and then trying to stop a truck running, right? That's what it's going to come down to. So yeah, man, it's going to impact this game without a doubt.
Yeah, and you look at the end of the Dolphins and Bills game. There was that one 3rd and long where Josh Allen ran for it. And it seemed like the Dolphins defenders didn't even tackle him. And this is in 70-degree Miami weather. Talk about, we got the guy back there, Pacheco, who you don't want to tackle him when it's 75 degrees, 80 degrees, let alone we're talking negative 20-degree weather, right? So, That's gonna be a tough stop. You've been saying we need to feature him more. Give Pacheco the rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think this weekend. I think he's had some great games this season. I think this might be like his game that we look to for years down the road. We say, oh, the Pacheco game. I think that might be this game. What a great time to do that. Then just run the ball and hammer it down their throats in a cold weather like this.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, Miami knows this, so you'll probably see a lot of 8 in the box. Safety coming down, just like the Raiders played us, and they had a good game plan against what we were doing because they know that we live on the short passes, the screen game. If we decide to run, then if you stop Pacheco, stop the guys getting to the second level, then that will hurt Pacheco. So we're probably going to see a lot of that, just 8 in the box, and they're going to say, "Dare throw the football," right? That's what it's going to be. And it's going to be on the same way on the other side, too. Mostert or Chain, we don't know who's going to play. We know those guys are both a little banged up. But they're going to try to run the football. Matter of fact, they might try to, with the motion, try to out-leverage us on the outside, getting the ball to Tyreek Hill. A little swing pass, then they're going to hit his head on the goalpost. And so I think their game plan is, well, look, let's just get the ball to Cheetah and let him make people miss, okay? And let him get up the field. So you just know if anything, you stop him, but they definitely had to stop Pacheco. They're gonna have to try. They're going to try. But yeah, I'm hoping that is, Marcus. I hope it is a good game for Pacheco. Looking at him get 160 something yards, right? Maybe CEH come in and give a little something too. But we got the jet sweep as well. Trying to get some guys on the outside, McCole Hardman, those guys. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how we go into this game offensively. I didn't get a chance to look at the numbers of Mahomes' games in these like last 9 of the last 10 of these 45-degree sub 45-degree games. But I mean, we've seen him play in the playoffs, and that's typically in January, and it's not the warmest of weather in January. I also another stat that Tua's record in December and January, I think it's like at 500 or a little slightly below 500.
Okay.
And that, I mean, obviously plays home games in Miami, but you're also playing your away games, New York, New England, Buffalo. I mean, those are the warmest of places. And the one thing with Tua too, like I know we look at his 0-4 numbers, and I know people are trying to. So I feel like some of the stuff's overblown, but these guys have played, games, and like you said, Tyreek Hill played in Kansas City. But he played Western Alabama, played Oklahoma State. Those are warm places. But then he got used to that playing in the NFL for as long as he has. But Tua, Hawaii, he grew up in Hawaii.
Yeah,
played college ball at Alabama, Tuscaloosa. Plays football in Miami, and now it's going to be. I mean, I'm sure he'll get used to it. I'm sure they're doing whatever they can. But yeah, that's my question. How does a team? And you played in Philly and you played in Kansas City, but how I haven't seen how they're trying to get used to this or trying to mimic this, because I know that everyone tries to play the elements. What are they doing? Going inside their little stadium and blowing the AC on blast? I mean, how do you try to get used to this?
You talking about in Miami?
Yeah, how are they working on this?
Man, I don't think there is any way. You can't do it. You just got to know mentally what you're going to have to go into. And so that's the thing. If you've been a team like Kansas City, right, or let's just say like Buffalo, that play in cold weather, it is an advantage because, like I said, mentally, psychologically, physiologically, you're built for it. You've been you've toughened this landscape out for a long time that you just know what you're dealing with. Okay, and you adapt to those things a lot quicker than somebody from Miami. Tua, he'll never get warm. There's some guys who could, I don't care what you do, they cannot get warm enough. And so he's going to have a turtleneck on. He's going to have 3 or 4 shirts. I mean, he's going to try to do everything he possibly can to keep himself warm. And so, man, just the anguish of thinking how cold it's going to be, right? Just get ready for it. Just get ready. He's like, oh, my gosh. Dad, God, it's going to be cold. Like, you was talking about you don't like the cold weather, right? You was just like – so you talk about it. How does it feel with cold weather? Like, what does it do to you mentally? Let me ask you that, right? Because I don't like cold weather either. But I play in it. I could go out now right here and go in short sleeves in the cold weather, and I'll be all right. What about you?
It's rough. So like playing as when I was in high school, so I probably like it would get down to in college too. In West Virginia, it got really cold, but like I can't remember anything that was like this bad. I think maybe 32 degrees, 30 degrees is probably the coldest.
Yeah.
And from a receiver's point of view, it was awful, especially in the snow. But when playing flag football and having to throw the ball from the quarterback's point of view, right? Obviously not getting tackled, but life changed a little bit as far as having a hand warmer and being able to have that. I know it's still cold as crap, but like that is just so much. And I remember as a receiver going to the huddle, I would put my hand in my quarterback's little hand warmer thing. Any time in there, I would put my hand in there for like a second. It would feel great for like that second, but like from a skill position person, that's awful. Quarterback, I don't know. I feel like you having that little protection there to put your hands back in it. As soon as like an incomplete pass or a completion, you put your hands back in there. You can rest those things to keep them warm, so you can at least grip the ball. But yeah, it's brutal. It really is.
Just going from the huddle all the way out there to no man's land, on your split, it's gonna feel like, oh my gosh, my head just got cold all of a sudden. So they'll probably everybody have hand warmers, I'm sure, who's catching the football, but it's still like I don't care. It absolutely runs through you. I was in it yesterday. It's not wasn't that cold, but that wind was just cutting right through it. I was like, oh my gosh, I get like layers and layers on, cutting straight through it, Marcus, cutting straight through it. And I was getting gas. And you know how you put in like your members card, like your points. Oh, boop, boop, boop. I said, man, forget the points. I'm getting up in this car. I ain't worried about the
sprinting inside the car.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I ain't worried about that. Hey, I'm not staying out here. But in my mind, I could toughen it out. Like I said, I played in cold weather before, and so I can go out and it won't bother me. It really won't bother me. And I've gone sleeveless. But if I'm wearing sleeves, and I said this before, then I know I'm cold. Cold. But you do little things, Vaseline on your arms. They got a little bit of like some of this heat rub that you can do. Man, when that cold lays on you, man, sometimes you just can't get warm enough. I'm telling you, you're trying to thaw out, and some guys, I'm telling you, they're gonna be like, I cannot wait to get this game over with. Some of them guys, Miami, they're gonna be like, I don't care if we win this game. Hope we win it, but I cannot get on the bus fast enough. Telling you. So,
was there a difference because you played in Philly and you played in Kansas City? Both places can be brutal in the wintertime. Was there a different type of feel from the Kansas City winter games versus the Philly winter games?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was. I think I always say this about Kansas City. Kansas City to me has the extremes. Like it get extremely cold, it get extremely hot and humid. And so in Philly, because you're on the East Coast, you might get a little breeze coming through. It gets cold, no doubt about it. Snows, and the snow's just all over the place. But it doesn't seem like it's just overly cold, right? Like it's cold and you bundle up and whatnot. But my coldest games is when I played with Kansas City. And part of that, some of them was in Kansas City, but the other one, I went to New York. I told you about the time in New York where it was just like the cold rain. Mm-hmm. That was something else totally different. I mean, that was like when you're wet and you're cold, forget about it, right? But yeah, I think Kansas City, because it is kind of flat, it just seems like, the air just travels through. It gets real brutal. Man. Brutally cold. So what's the intent supposed to be for the game? I think I've seen somewhere like this might be on Twitter. Somebody put out this might be the cheapest that you'll be able to get a playoff game to see Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, I think I saw tickets were going for like $70. Like I think it's a
I think it's 50 game. Now. I think 50? It's 50. Yeah, somebody has it at 50.
Wow.
So, I hear you, man. If you want to brave the elements, have at it. Go ahead.
We know our fan base is going to get drunk and get boozed up to get warm before the games.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to do a little bit more than that. Shoot.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully they layer up, man. I debated. I was like, should I wear like my starter jacket and turtleneck for this episode? Because to kind of like have some symbolism for the game this weekend. I was like, nah, I'll say that for the guys who are going to be at the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.